These are things that I want to do. The first thing the college says is that how much money are you going to invest in my college?
We are not asking that.
I'm not asking. I'm not talking about Sharda. I'm not talking about Sharda.
But this has been asked even by IIT.
This is
Trust me.
this is the response. This is the response that I get.
Annual event, which cost me 20 lakhs.
Yeah.
What he's saying is
The first thing, I go to an IIT and say that, hey, I probably need to hire students who are better in quality in comparison to what I have been getting. The first response that I get is, do you sponsor so and so event? Have you sponsored a lab at our college? Have you done this particular thing at our college, etc., etc. These are the kind of responses that we get. And then my question to them is that, hey, what will happen if I do all these things at your college? The response that I get is, we'll probably give you day 1 day slot, and that's how you will get the best student out of our college.
And that also actually eventually happened with Upe Morse.
Correct. So is that the right way of doing things? Are we heading in the right direction?
Get options like assessments, partnering with people to look for assessments. Would that be one of the solutions?
A platform.
Correct.
Platform.
See, I think this definition of tier 1, and I will answer what you said, why we're talking about it now, why we didn't spoke about it 10 years back. You were a batch of 85 IIT. How much of this noise about IITs were there in India? Because the entire batches were going to job outside the country or serve government in Indian civil services or engineering services, right? That's what the toppers of IITs were doing. Now, with the investment from a private sector, our employers who are new, who were not there 10 years back, need larger talent pools. So it's a purely demand-supply fight. Now, what has not happened, according to my view, is the tier 1 definition has not expanded. It has expanded. Maybe we used more of IITs, but there are people who are chasing some NITs also, crazily. I think that definition need to be extended. And when we say the definition, the similar kind of talent, the one thing which is uniform in this table that all of us feel that people who come from IITs are very logically advanced. They have an ability to think on their feet when it comes to engineering minds, and which is computer science is also engineering. So we need to expand that. You being an institute need to make sure that the 4 years or 3 years curriculum which you have, I'm an engineer too. So I know the things could have been better in my college where I've gone to. I've been to IITs and I've seen. Especially to point what Prashant made, and people who go regularly to IITs will know that they have some kind of inbuilt finishing school. In their way, it is not run by institute, it's run by themselves.
Yeah, so
they actually prepare themselves for interview.
So
they really prepare themselves for interview.
Let me make one point. You know why IITs are great? It's not because of the infrastructure. It's not about the professors. It's not. You look at their town. My son and we go through long history, but it's about the raw talent. 0.3% of the entrance.
Correct.
So because the person is really good.
The best.
That's why institution has become.
Exactly, that's very
right.
right.
One is that.
So it's nothing about institution. It's the raw talent.
Correct. So they've picked up the best.
That's it.
The second thing that I'll give you an example out here.
You have got the
IITs are not doing.
They are self-driven.
Like other institutes say, give me this. It's about.
So I'll give you another example out here.
They're intelligent anyways.
They're intelligent anyway. Put them anywhere. They will
That
succeed.
case,
Yeah.
Now, in that case, we are looking at a situation where there is this IIT entrance exam. There are only certain numbers that they can take. So probably a little there who got rejected. They would still be as smart ones who are going to the tier 2, tier 3 levels.
Yeah,
right?
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would really appreciate it. It would help me understand one very, very important aspect of campus recruitment. This has been my personal experience while interacting with a lot of companies when I go and meet them and talk about the campus recruitment needs. I did know that they have a fixed list of, let's say, 50 colleges from where they recruit, and they have a very close mindset that they would not recruit from any other college outside that list.
No, it's a recruitment strategy.
So
it's
let
a recruitment.
me complete this. So even if Kanchana talked about assessments, even if we try to get into a dialogue with industry to try to understand their expectations as to on what basis do they assess students from other colleges. I'm not talking about IITs, I'm not talking about students from NITs of the world. I'm talking about the other colleges. You also accepted that. And we just mentioned that there is talent in every college.
True.
We just need to go out. Find
So
it.
let me say something, right? So I'm now wearing a HR recruitment hat because I've done that a lot. If my business says, get me the best talent, I don't care how much it costs, and I'm willing to take the risk if the guy is, going to leave, then I have one strategy, right? But I want dependability, I want also good talent, and very good baselining, I'll go to some other one. Then the third case is, look, I have this immediate need and I have to customize my resources accordingly. I will use a third strategy, which is the 1 year kind of thing. But having said that, from the institution standpoint, I think 3 years you have to create that baseline. That is, because you have to do that no matter what happens. The 4th year you can change.
Prashant, you just said that, let's say, if it's a consulting-based assignment, a process within your organization, and for that you're looking for students who have that customer-centric approach.
Right.
So maybe while assessing those students, you would want to test them on their aptitude. That's what
different
the system
skills.
was, correct. So that is the logical reasoning part. That's it. Mainly, I'm saying, plus the general communication and customer handling skills. Now, an assessment can be designed, can be customized to suit your recruitment needs. And if, let's say, X company, which is the assessment company, takes that assessment to various campuses on your behalf, test students, shortlist students, and then get to those students, would you still, as an industry I'm asking you, would you still have that closed mindset of not even looking at that set of students?
No, we have open mind.
So I'll tell you why that closed mind exists.
Rohit, can I just add to that question? I know where he's heading because this is a question I think we try and kind of answer every day, but I think we struggle. So can I just add on to the question? Could you share what are your organization's thoughts around the entire campus recruitment strategy? I don't know, please don't share whatever you don't feel comfortable, that's fine. But for example, like I said, is there a mandate to say I will only go to top 40? Or are you saying I will, because I have a limited number of manpower available for recruitment, that limits the effort that I can put in? Do you work with partners or do you work only solely through your own efforts? How do you kind of assess an IITian versus, let's say, a Shardite versus a Tier 3 kind of a college? So do you kind of accept or acknowledge a common assessment platform which kind of puts all the IITians, non-IITians into one bucket? So could you give us a little sense of what is your current, I mean, I'm great if you actually want to quickly go around just hearing from each organization what is their campus strategy, because that just maybe helps us of.
So Amit, even before we begin, you mentioned that each institute, each organization have a list. So it's not that we inherited that list. That list has been populated by the ages the organization has been. What it have? Yeah, maybe the top slot it will have the reservation to Tier 1, again we'll use the word IITs. It may also have name of institutes where actually if the recruiting guy look into his entire available talent, there could be a graph showing one college where people are there hired through lateral process, but fortunately they actually come from a similar institute. Like Pune University has been seen success by that manner. People from Amit Institute of Technology, he may tell that the institute is good. It may not be IIT, but let's go there. So the list has been populated on various way, which you actually saying that if you can share that what are the reason you populate a list. But for sure, and correct me if people think other way, I don't see enough material apart from very flashy CDs which shows university building, acres of space, and iPads given to students. The real data that, hey, we have 2,000 students.
That's
among
the
these,
business side of it,
these
Amit.
50 guys are really hardcore techies or good consulting.
Okay, I'll just add to what Amit said. So now, when this question comes up as to, hey, why do companies have this fixed mindset or a fixed list of colleges that they want to recruit from? So there is a planning exercise from a business standpoint that happens. So at the start of the year, every company comes up with their own budget, saying that, hey, these are the number of approved headcounts or manpower plan that we will probably have. Based on that, we decide saying that, hey, we are probably going to be recruiting 100 people or 500 people or 1,000 people or 50,000 people depending upon the size of your company. Now what happens is the first logical thing to do for an HR guy is to go back and look at the past performance, saying that, hey, I've been going to these 100 colleges over the last 5 years, and on an average I've been able to recruit 50 from each of them. So if I continue going to these 100 colleges over a period of time, I probably will meet my number of 500, 5,000 or 50,000, whatever it is. So should I be actually looking at a new set of colleges? That's the first thought that comes to the mind of an HR guy. I already have set processes with these colleges. Let's continue doing that. Why to create new problems and more problems for my own self? Now, in a given scenario, what happens at times is that you go to these 100 set colleges and then you realize that, hey, the quality of students that existed last year has deteriorated. And hence, probably I have not been able to meet my numbers. And this is when the HR guy starts struggling, saying that, hey, can I add 10 more colleges? Can I add 15 more colleges? Can I add 20 more colleges? Depending upon the average number of students that I can recruit from each of these colleges. And that is when new relationships build in with new colleges. And that is where these new colleges that we are talking about will have to come up and show their potential from a quality perspective.
So Rohit, let me interject with a question there. So today there are players, and we are not yet one of them, who typically will come to clients like you and say, fine, from your past experience, 50 colleges work, the rest don't. But these kind of players will come to you and say, look, I today reach out to maybe, let's say, 1,000 colleges. I have pre-assessed them. So today, do you kind of look at that as a solution for yourself? Saying, okay, there is a ready-made work which has been done by a partner. He's gone to these colleges, assessed them using a common tool. So it's like kind of puts both the IIT and
when you talk about this,
so does that work for you?
So that assessment in your impression could be an assessment with a lot of value. That assessment in my impression as a company may not have any value. It depends upon what is that I am trying to assess. So the first question that I have to that is that, are we really talking of an assessment model which has been validated by the industry? That's the first question.
So let's face it, we know that today there is no universally recognized assessment center or platform. NASSCOM has been talking about NAT or
the skill.
There is still various kind of parameters and standards there. But what I'm saying is that do you look at these kind of players and say, okay, this is a quick way, fine, it will cost some money, but it saves you a lot of sweat, tears and blood kind of stuff to reach out to as many colleges, and where maybe the issues that you face in IIT of salaries, of drops on offers, some of those issues are probably not there.
There are a lot of logistical issues that still needs to be answered. Sorry, you can carry on.
What I feel is, it's still not tried and tested. Everyone has been talking about it. NASSCOM's called it NASTEC. People have said we'll give you NASTEC, and they've said we'll give you a uniform platform. I don't think anyone has said that this is the solution. I don't think and what Rohit said, I don't think it's possible for us to develop a test which is universally accepted by everyone. What is tough in your view may be an easy cakewalk for me. What is good for me may not work for you. So I don't know whether this common platform of tested candidates will actually help.
So I don't know, for example, if ITC Infotech, for example, works with players or any of the corporates that are sitting here. But we know that there are, I would say, as per our understanding, about 7-8 players who are out there today, whether it is Meritrack or CoCubes or Aspiring Minds. And these players have clients today. There are these clients who work with these partners to kind of shortcut the process, both from a reach perspective as well as a standardization of quality perspective.
So let me give you a perspective.
Why does it work for them?
From that, all those names that you took, your CoCubes and your Aspiring Minds and Meritrack, we work with all of them for our campus. They are partners for us on campuses. We'd rather take them, I would say using them for doing tests on campuses is, it's good for us because the tests are validated and it's easy for us to use them. However, to take these students who are tested and use them for anything that is I would need for, say, an off-campus event, the quality of students there are not good. You still need to put them through, yes, that's a fact. And I've tried them out many times for off-campus as well as on-campus. On-campus, they're really good. Off-campus students, which they claim are tested students, when we put them through the entire process, there's so much hard work that one needs to go through.
I'll just add to what Padmini said.
No, they are tested students. They have been tested by their tests.
Okay, I'll just add to this. So you also need to look at.
Yeah, see, that's what again we are coming back to basics again. See,
correct.
So today there is no common platform for testing. Agree, all the company through NASSCOM we agree. These are a set of questions to be done. But basic thing is, I am not being taught in 4 years what I am supposed to. See, we cannot offer some campus guys, okay, you become a senior consultant today, go talk to client. He will not take. all the college students are set of a job. Today the business customer demands exactly, I want particular guy, so much of experience, particular domain expert, very, very specific job description is given. So we can't do that with campus minds, so campus people. So campus guys should know basic fundamentals so that he is strong foundation. Then with the training, with a month or a year, he can pick it up, go to next level. So coming back to that point, even we all of us understand, people will not clear the test, whether it's my style or your style. I'll tell you one, this is not a NASCOM data. We all of us do 90 days, all of us here, we do 90 days training after the campus recruitment. We go them, interview and take them. Do you know this is one of our close number, I am not quoting publicly. So, but I will tell you what has happened. All these years, after 90 days, everybody does a test, whether how they performed or not. So in that, the percentage was, failing percentage was 1.5 to 2% of whatever we recruit. So, but 2012, this is just a close friends spoken, Shailesh or Mahesh, like that friends. We have spoken and we just figured out how many percentage cleared this time after the assessment, internal assessment of the respective company. It is gone up to 12%. Institution should know this. It has gone to 12%.
So you're saying 1.5% failure was when it was a partner's assessment?
No, nothing. All these days, forget about partner or anybody. That's an operational.
There is a level of dilution happening.
Exactly. See that partnering, all those are operational issues. Forget about that. The quality exact people coming in after 90 days of my training, whatever I want, this is the way. So the eligible guy whom I can put on the face the client tomorrow, come attend the telecon and get through his questions. That when all these years we have seen the percentage has gone up like anything. That is because of my first point. Today nobody is bothered about, not nobody, that's what we all should come up with as a team. What needs to be done as a future. I am telling you, I am talking a little bit old generation guy, but I am trying to make a point. After next 10 years, I think we'll have nobody to do anything. It will become like that. So
I think that point is well understood, Murthy. I think
the challenge I think today to add on here, if you see the emerging technologies, the new trends, so there are hardly about 5% of the people who can fit that bill, right? So where is this question to be addressed? So
no, but that is your, I mean, that is internal, that 30 days, 90
so
days. That they cannot solve.
So one question that I have for all of us.
Quality, baselining they can.
Baseline actually, I
I
think that point about baselining is well heard and well understood.
So one probably point or a question that I have for all of us from the industry sitting here. So all of us have been talking about the quality of people from campus deteriorating. Can all of us not do something like this? Let's not go to campus for the next 2 years and let the students feel the heat of it.
See, that's
right. Well, today the students are, so the bottom line is when you look at this, the students in most of the cases are taking it for granted. My parents have paid a hefty sum of money to get me admitted into a tier 1 or a tier 2 college. I am sure that I will get a job at the end of these 4 years because Infosys comes to my campus, or TCS or a Wipro or an HCL or an ITC Infotech or a Mindtree comes to my campus and takes students in truckloads. So I am sure I'll get a job at the end of the year is what is the mindset in which the student lives. And over a period of time what happens is he or she starts taking things for granted. You and I from an industry and academia perspective can end up talking about a lot of things. But if the student who's the beneficiary or who has to go through the rigor in those 4 years does not take it seriously, what is that you and I can do?
Actually, Rohit, I believe that point has probably been said many times already. And
correct. So then,
completely understood, and I think that there is a gap.